Euro 2024 kicks off today with the host nation Germany up against Scotland. And what this means is it's the start of that period now for us England fans where we get our hopes and shoot them through the roof, only for them to get crushed later in the tournament and most likely on a penalty shootout. But before that classic cycle of emotion takes place, we have just about enough time to make some pre-tournament predictions. So yeah, let's have a crack at these. Speaking of getting my hopes up, well, I've put England in there as a potential winner for this tournament. I've got to be honest, that's more my heart than my mind speaking. I think we have the squad, we have the potential to do it, but defensively we look very suspect. We have a midfield balance that still isn't fully worked out yet, and we're not even entirely sure on what the front three should be. A lot of people saying Gordon on the left, a lot of people saying Foden, for example, and it's not a good sign when you don't have a settled 11 yet heading into the tournament. But we have a group stage where England are strong favourites to top that group. We can maybe figure things out there and then make a good run. There's a lot of firepower in that squad as well, and yeah, this is really is a good opportunity for England to do it. You never know. We saw Portugal in 2016 draw all three of their group games, need extra time in a couple of the knockouts, and still go on to win it. So it may not be the cleanest run to a win, but England are certainly up there. But that was my heart speaking. Going with my mind, I have to put France in there as the favourites really because they just have the strongest squad. The absolute depth that they have in most positions. They have absolute world beaters in the likes of Mbappe, even Griezmann, people who just turn up and thrive on these big stages. And France, for me, you look back at the last few years, Euro runners up in their own country in 2016, World Cup winners in 2018, World Cup runners up in 2022. And I think the latest runner up in the World Cup should actually put that bit between their teeth to want to make it right, knowing they were so close, losing on penalties to Argentina. That will probably drive them on to have a really strong performance at the Euros coming up now. And yeah, if we're being honest, they've got to be the favourites. But yeah, England or France for me for favourites to win this competition. Now, top scorer, I've gone for Harry Kane. I think it's between Kane and Mbappe, especially if we're looking at England and France as potential favourites to make a deep run into the competition. I just think the thing that's going to edge Kane is he should get a bit of a head start. No disrespect for the teams in our group, Denmark, Serbia, and Slovenia can't be taken lightly. But if you compare that to what Mbappe's up against in Netherlands, Poland, and Austria in their group stage, I think that gives Kane the opportunity to get himself out in front. And that should be enough to carry him on if England can make a deep run in the competition. Kane has also been in electric scoring form this season for Bayern Munich and has just generally been a very reliable goal scorer for both club and country for the past few years. I think, yeah, I would be surprised if Kane's not in like the top three scorers for this competition. So for player of the tournament, I've gone for Van Dijk, and if you can see my dark horses kind of peeking through there behind my head, you'll understand why. I think Netherlands are going to have a pretty solid tournament and go quite deep. I think was it either the quarterfinals or the semi-finals of the World Cup that they reached, and before getting knocked out by the eventual winners, Argentina. I think for Van Dijk as well, he had a solid World Cup and hasn't had many, or I think possibly any international tournaments before that, either through injury or the Netherlands not qualifying. So yeah, he hasn't had too many chances to prove himself on the international stage, and I think he will thrive off having that kind of opportunity to showcase himself and as captain lead out the Netherlands. I think as well they've probably got, if not the strongest, one of the strongest defenses in the competition, and it's going to be absolutely key to that foundation they want to build off and make a run into the competition. They also have a group stage with the likes of France, Poland, and Austria, so some big tests early on, an opportunity for him to impress and cement himself as one of the best players in the tournament. For me, I think he'll do it. So for my dark horses, I've gone Netherlands and Croatia. I've kind of given a bit of an explanation for the Netherlands with Van Dijk, player of the tournament pick, but yeah, they have an opportunity to make a really deep run. They've got one of the best defenses to build off, and going forward as well, they have a plethora of attacking options. I think their group stage as well will be a great early test for them, coming up against France so early, and then Poland and Austria, no pushovers either. So they'll have that opportunity to really build some momentum and confidence if they can go and get out of that group or even top it. And then Croatia, just another one that I think they've done really well in the last couple of World Cups. Euros they haven't done as well, but they're a team that people maybe feel past their peak a little bit, but they've still got some real star talent there, and they'll be a very difficult team to beat. They're in that kind of group of death that people are looking at with Spain, Italy, and Albania, and I think they can cause some real problems if they get out that. Maybe make it into the round of 16 quarterfinal. I think even a quarterfinal run for Croatia would be surpassing the expectations for them, with most people probably not expecting them to get out of that group. So yeah, I think they are one to watch in that sense. I don't think they're going on like a semi-final or even finalist kind of run, but quarters would be massively impressive from them. And yeah, they're one to watch. Do not underestimate them in that group. And then finally, underperformers for the tournament. Well, I've gone Italy, but I do have to say England are a massive shout to be underperformers of the tournament. As usual, our media has bigged us up. I've done it as well. People talking about England being one of the favourites to win, but there's a strong chance, especially depending on the tournament tree, England could be out in the quarterfinals. You never know. Even the group stage will have some banana peels, and England haven't been impressing in their recent friendlies, so you never know. England potentially, I possibly should have done a slash England here, but yeah, they are a possibility for underperformers of the tournament. But I've gone with Italy just because they're in a very tough group, but a lot of people still have them as favourites to get through it, as probably second to Spain. I just think that there's a good chance that they don't make it out of that group at all. They could lose to Spain and Croatia, and then even if they beat Albania, those 3 points are, is a maybe as to whether it's enough to make them one of the best qualified third place teams. And I think due to expectations of people thinking Italy should be one of the favourites to get out of that group, there's a strong chance that they don't, and therefore are big underperformers, especially as they're defending the crown. They won the last Euros, so a lot of pressure on them to then follow that up and at least get a quarterfinal, maybe semi-finals. But yeah, for me, strong chance they go out. Let me know what would you change from this list. Yeah, just basically give me your version of events. I'm interested to see how people vary. And of course, come on, England.